Hello everybody. Right, today what we're doing is we're tempo syncing the Volca Modular. I may have said this in a past video, but I find it tricky to integrate this into my live sets because it hasn't got a DIN cable. Obviously, it hasn't got any USB connectivity. So to set the sort of the tempo, you've got the clock setting, but it's a bit of an imprecise, tool, right? Because you're going, oh, the piece I'm playing now is 98 BPM. Obviously you can play it as a sort of instrument, but yeah. So today what I wanted to nail is syncing this maybe to a DAW tempo or another device, and what you'll need to do this, the way I'm doing it is via my Volca Sample. So, I mean, there's probably a few ways of doing it, but basically you need anything that's got the sync out, which the Volca Sample does. I don't know if any of the other Volca range have the sync out, and also the Key Pro Plus thing, the Arturia thing will definitely have a sync out. So you're looking for anything that has sync out. So I own a Volca Sample, so I've got a sync out. So you'll need you'll need anything that has sync out. I'm using Volca Sample. You will need a 3.5mm stereo adapter. This is like headphone adapter, but like headphone adapter at both ends. Do you get one of these with a Volca? I'm not sure. You might get one of these with a Volca, but you kind of get these when you kind of have Bluetooth speakers and things like that. And what you'll do is you'll connect one end to sync out on the Volca Sample, and you'll sync the other to sync in on the Volca Modular. What you'll also need is you'll need a DIN cable. Show it to the camera, Mark. Show it to the camera. And that'll be plugged into your MIDI USB adapter thingy. So whether your device for getting audio into your laptop or computer may have a MIDI in out. Many do, some don't. If you don't, get hold of a cheap USB to MIDI adapter. As I say, the Volcas don't have USB. The Sample 2, has that got USB? Don't know. Tell me in the comments. So that's what you'll need. So it's a bit of a sort of chaining, but it does work. It's a bit of a faff. You've got cables everywhere, but yeah. So this would be, so if you want to do a kind of I don't know, a live set, or you want to trigger your Volca Modular as part of a live set from Ableton Live or from Reaper or from Logic or whatever you use live, or you're just in a studio and you just want to record some audio from your Volca Modular, but obviously you want to be all synced into the tempo of the project you're working on. This way will work. All right, cheers, folks. So the ultimate aim is we want to clock the Volca Modular over here from our sequencer. So that's what we eventually want to do, but we're going to go via the Volca Sample. So the first things we want to do is let's get the Volca Sample synced up to our sequencer, our DAW. Let's do that. So to enable that, up here we've got my USB MIDI interface. So channel 3, the MIDI cable there comes out of the interface and into the Volca Sample. Okay, so that's step 1. So let's just see what's going on, or let's just look at that inside our DAW. Okay, so I've got a Reaper project here. Now the tempo down here is 78 BPM. Okay, so that's the project tempo. So I've got a sort of pad set up, just to give us something to work with. And the important kind of parameters we want to set up in the DAW is under audio MIDI devices. This is the iconic global. This is my USB MIDI interface, and I know that I'm coming out of channel 3. This is the output, so we don't really care about the inputs. Obviously I've got my input 3 is disabled for some reason, but I don't care about that today because I'm only coming out of the DAW is setting the tempo, so I need to worry about MIDI out. And what you see, it says it's enabled plus clock. So there's a tick box there, send clock to this device, i.e. send the tempo information. So I can untick that, or I can tick that. But so that's the key. So if you're trying to do this and it's not working, make sure you've got send clock to this device, and obviously enable output to this device. Okay. But Reaper's telling me both enabled plus clock 3, port 3, and I know physically because we just saw that on the last clip that we're coming out of 3. So if we just think we're at the Volca sample, we can set the tempo. So I can set this to say 130 BPM. There we go, which obviously isn't the project tempo. So that's my Volca sample. That's the rhythm going on there. But obviously we want to sync that from the DAW. But remember, the DAW isn't playing at the moment. So if I just set Reaper off playing, as if by magic, and so the tempo doesn't do anything, because what we're saying is take your clock from the MIDI connection, ignore the internal clock. Okay, so we're starting to get there. So let's come on to the Volca Modular now. Now we can listen to this, and I can. Well, the clock doesn't have any effect, but we can explain that, because this is where the magic happens. We've got the sync cable, so we've got a 3.5mm cable that comes from the Volca sample from sync out, and it's going into the Volca modular to sync in. Just move that bit of this thing. Okay. So what that means is now the Volca modular is being tempo controlled by the Volca sample, which we know is set, what's that, 130? Yeah, so let's set it back to 130. Now I'm going to change the tempo in the Volca sample. .65. So obviously that's now slowed down. And the clock doesn't have any effect because we're syncing it from the Volca sample. So hopefully you should be understanding the magic now. So we're coming out of Reaper via the MIDI cable into the Volca sample. We're sending the clock to the Volca sample, and we're then syncing out of the Volca sample to the Volca modular, from sync out from the Volca sample to sync in to the Volca modular. And as if by magic, let's test that. Volca sample is at the tempo we want. 2, 3, 4. Tempo of the Volca sample doesn't do anything. Tempo of the clock setting doesn't do anything. Getting there. Now, interesting, what I'm finding is hitting go on the DAW on Reaper starts the drum machine going, but it doesn't start the Volca Modular going. I don't know how to do that. If anyone knows how to do that, let me know in the comments. Let's just give it a test. So the Reaper, that's set at 78 BPM. Let's change that for 128. Okay, so everything should play back much quicker now.